Have you ever bought a brand new phone only to realize a tiny little design change makes a big difference in how you actually use it? Well, that's exactly what's happening with the Pixel 10 Pro XL. Google made a very small tweak to the design compared to last year's Pixel 9 Pro XL. But for a lot of people, especially those who love shooting videos in landscape mode, this change is creating a pretty big headache. And the problem isn't a bug or some hidden software issue. It's simply about where Google decided to place the mic and speaker. Now, here's the thing. Pixel phones have had their fair share of odd bugs over the years, but this isn't one of them. It's a deliberate design choice. On the Pixel 10 Pro XL, Google swapped the positions of the bottom speaker and the microphone. At first glance, that might sound like no big deal. In fact, the change even has an upside. The main speaker now sits on the right side of the USB-C port, which is great for gaming or watching videos in landscape. Your palm doesn't cover it anymore, which means no more muffled sound when you're playing or streaming. That's a good move, but here's the catch. By moving the speaker, Google also shifted the mic to the left side. And if you're right-handed and holding the phone in landscape, guess where your palm naturally rests? Right over that mic. So when you start recording a video, instead of clear audio, you sometimes end up with muffled or blocked sound. Imagine capturing the perfect sunset or recording your kid's football game, only to realize later that your audio sounds like it's coming from under a pillow. That's what some Pixel 10 Pro XL users are dealing with right now. What makes this even more interesting is that it's not a software bug Google can just patch with an update. It's purely a design thing. That means the only real workaround is changing the way you hold your phone. The simplest fix? Rotate the phone 180 degrees when shooting in landscape, so your right hand isn't covering the mic. Sure, it feels a little awkward at first, especially if you've been holding phones the same way for years, but once you know the trick, it's not too hard to adjust. Still, the fact that a flagship phone in 2025 requires you to rethink how you hold it is, let's just say, not ideal. Now, before we get too harsh on Google, it's worth pointing out that this isn't the end of the world. Most people these days actually shoot videos in portrait mode anyway, because that's what Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts prefer. So if you're a heavy social media user, you might never even run into this problem. And compared to some of the strange glitches we've seen in the past, like display flickers or software crash, this is pretty mild. It doesn't make the phone unusable. It's just one of those quirks you'll need to keep in mind if you're planning to use your Pixel 10 Pro XL as your go-to video recorder.